Everybody can hear me all right, right? Okay. All right, so welcome to our Sunday night Force Nation team call. Tonight we're going to be talking about the 12-week year, how to use that to maximize your first 12 weeks in 2017. I've got a whole slideshow on that, but real quick, I was going to put Denise or Nicole on the spot and have them go over our notes that we talked about for 2017, and we can kind of go over some of those over the next couple weeks, but I'll just, instead of throwing it at them, I'll just go ahead and cover it real quick. A couple things. We are starting we're working on a brand new coach training that is going to be something that we're going to want everybody, regardless of how long you've been a coach, probably to go through just to refresh your memory on everything. Or if you're new and you haven't ever fully gone through a new coach training, you're going to want to do that. We are going to have the last Sunday of each month starting in January. Instead of having our call like this, we're going to do what is coaching Zoom that we'll have, so we can invite people to that and talk to them a little bit more about what coaching's about. We're going to try it that way for the first 12 weeks, see how it works. Instead of doing it live in Facebook. This way we can also get some people who are not on Facebook. Yeah, and make sure that you're promoting the health bet. You can either join forces with some of us or you can go on your own. And then we'll also start a new book of the month starting in January. January is going to be How to Win Friends and Influence People. February is going to be The War of Art. And March will be Methods of Persuasion. But there'll be more on that as we get closer. But in the meantime, go ahead and make sure that you mute yourselves. I'm going to share my screen. I've got lots of stuff to go over. Make sure that you have stuff to write with, okay? So you can write notes on what I have here. Okay, give me a second now to find the right. That's not what I want to show you yet. But do you guys see the Force Nation Sunday night trading call slide? Okay. All right, I'm going to make it bigger here. There we go. Okay. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. You can't. Somebody still needs muted here. Can you guys all mute yourselves for me? Yeah. Okay. Now, if you have any questions while we're going, Denise and Nicole, just watch the comments. If you guys have a question, you go ahead and type it in the comments, and I won't be able to see it with the screen sharing going on here. But one of you guys let me know if there's a question, okay? And then at the end, we'll also have time for some questions. All right, so this is maximize your time and results with the 12-week year. We're going to go over what the 12-week year is, and then how to implement it. But in the long run, I'm going to recommend that everybody get this book as well and go over it a little bit more in detail than what I can here in 50 minutes or however fast. So, all right. So the 12-week year, you'll learn how to take back control of your day, increase your income, balance the priorities in your life, lower your stress, accomplish your goals in record time. And the concept is, minimize you guys some more, how to take a 12-month plan and turn it into a 12-week plan. All right, so most goals are reached in the last 2 months of the year. This is because we have this idea that we have plenty of time to reach our goals and we don't have that sense of urgency. So the way the 12-week plan goes, instead of working towards 12-month goals, which can seem like a long way away in the beginning of the year, we'll change that to 12-week goals and concentrate the effort we normally save for year end. This concept is called periodization, and it will change how we frame our time to make sure every week counts. So what this means is instead of 12 months, we have 12 weeks. So in a sense, that week is equivalent to a month, which means a day is equivalent to a week. All right. So just to ask yourself, what would your life look like at the end of the year if we could all achieve the same results in 12 weeks instead of 12 months? Would that be a game changer in your life? I think for most of us, the answer would be yes. Here's a, not yet the quote yet. The 12-week year concept is to organize yourself so you can perform at your best all the time by consistently taking action on the things which will most directly shape and dictate your results. So this is a quote from the authors. Our experience has shown that most people have the capacity to double or triple their income just by consistently applying what they already know. Despite this, people continue to chase new ideas, thinking that the next idea will be the one that will magically make it all better. We will show you how to consistently take action on the things that will shape your success. So I think we all have experienced that in one way or another, and not just within ourselves, but with people that we're coaching too. So that's something why we're going to just focus on one plan for 12 weeks and see how that goes. And then if we need to change things or tweak things, we will from there. So the periodization concept. Here's what we're going to go over. 1, make every week count. 2, connect emotionally. 3, develop your plan. 4, execute 1 week at a time. 5, measurement drives results. 6, be purposeful. And 7, own your results. All right, so make every week count. If you discard annual thinking, as in the year long, and instead focus on getting the most achieved in the next 12 weeks, you'll be working with more purpose and passion than you otherwise would. There's nothing like a deadline to get you motivated, so move that deadline closer and get to work. Just one example, I just finished this presentation up maybe a couple hours ago, so because I had the deadline. I think we've all done that at least once, and probably a lot more often than that. Number 2, connect emotionally. Your business vision won't exist in isolation, but will be aligned with your personal vision. You have to first articulate what you want in life in all the dimensions that count: spiritual, relationships, family, income, lifestyle, health, and community. All right, connect emotionally. This is the concept of the why, basically, which is what you've heard us talk about many, many times. Who just unmuted themselves? Did you have a question?
Yeah, because.
Okay. Once you clarify your unique personal vision, you then create business and career objectives which align with and bring about your personal vision. Get that alignment right, and you can work with commitment and passion to get stuff done. Number 3 is develop your plan. To reach goals in 12 weeks, you'll need to work from a written plan for 3 different reasons. A written plan reduces mistakes. A good plan committed to paper will save time. Let's emphasize that, paper. All right, oops, didn't mean to click. And a well thought out plan provides focus. I think we probably all have experienced these different steps at one time or another, and just know that they're true, but we just tend to slack off and stop doing them after a while. So here is how to develop your 12-week plan. Number 1, identify 3 overall goals for the next 12 weeks. Have the mindset that if you achieve these, you will feel successful because you're making steady progress towards your long-term vision. And number 2, for each 12-week goal, specify the tactics you will use to achieve that goal. Make sure your tactics are specific, actionable, include a due date. That's something that's very, very important to keep in mind, especially the due date part. Here's just kind of an example of how you will bring that down. You'll write your 3 goals, and then goal number 1, and 3 tactics that you're going to use, and then when you will have those tactics done by the due date. All right, you'll see this again here after a while. Number 4 in the periodization concept, execute 1 week at a time. In practice, your weekly plan simply sets out blocks of time when you will work uninterrupted on these tactics, which make up your overall goals. A good weekly plan will also incorporate these elements. Weekly planning session, where you review the progress made the previous week and figure out which tactics you will take action on in the coming week. A quick 5-minute planning session at the start of each day where you'll review your priorities and plan that day's activities. And a plan where you'll allocate where and when you will undertake activities which are aligned with your strategies and priorities. All right, number 5 is measurement drives results. This we also know with our health and fitness as well. You know, that's why we tell people to take their pictures and take their measurements, right? Because you won't, the measurements, that's what really drives your results, and that's what really shows if you're actually making progress or not. So if you really want to boost your performance levels, develop a weekly scorecard where you track how you're doing the critical activities that you need to accomplish each week to achieve your overall 12 goals. I actually have a scorecard that we can use, that you can use the template and make it your own. Another thing that we can use for straight up our business is the business activity tracker as well. So that is another way to measure results. But I have one where you can do the 3 different goals and you can put in the steps that you need to. So don't worry about having to totally recreate something like that. So scoring yourself on the percentage of activities you complete each week will help you strive for excellence. So you have your 12-week plan, and you'll take that and break it down to your weekly plan, and then from the weekly plan, you'll take care of your weekly scorecard. And your weekly scorecard needs to align with your 12-week plan and your weekly plan. It will give you an objective measure on how well you're executing your weekly plan. You have to be brutally honest and transparent for it to have value. So this is those of us like me who sometimes will just fudge things a little bit, you know, like when we fill our containers and I might fill it a little bit higher than it's supposed to be. Yeah, things like that. We have to write down exactly what we're doing, whether we're kicking butt or if we falter and screw up, you know, mark that down as well. All right, number 6 is be purposeful. To supercharge your productivity, you will need to become more intentional with your time. You'll block out time each week, which you can dedicate to your strategically important tasks. A good way to do this is to allocate 3 different time blocks into your schedule. These blocks are your strategic blocks, your buffer blocks, and your breakout blocks. We're going to go over what those are briefly here. Strategic blocks. Those are 3 hours long of uninterrupted time. Turn off all distractions and focuses on producing breakthrough results. There's a little bit more information about this here coming up, so don't stress about that yet. Buffer blocks. Buffer blocks are when you'll deal with your low value activities. You may only need 30 minutes a day. Some people might need more. And this time would be like when you reply to lower importance emails and messages and voicemails and things of that nature. Breakout blocks, those are also 3 hours long. This is when you recharge your batteries, your scheduled time off with no work. All right, so you do get to, with this plan, you get a little bit of everything. All right, and you're going to actually make the time for each one of these. By using these blocks, you can work to expand your overall performance time. Increase this every week, and you will notice a significant impact on your results. Number 7 is own your results. Accountability can be viewed as a negative, but with a 12-week year, it means you own your results regardless of your circumstances. To boost your performance, lose the excuses and work on what you can control, which are your thoughts and your actions. So, just like, let me go back here. Sometimes, this really said something to me. I'm going to actually click here again. But sometimes, it's like, people like me anyway. Sometimes if I'm like really screwing up, I'll just hide and I'll stop posting on Facebook and I won't talk to anybody and things like that. So that's because I'm afraid of letting somebody down or making myself look bad or whatever. So that's why sometimes accountability can be viewed as a negative, or you even hear things like, say athletes or other people, you got to hold them accountable for their actions when they screw up and do something. So, but we're going to try to flip that to make sure that it's viewed as a positive. And like I said, you can control your thoughts and your actions, and as long as you control those, you should be doing pretty well. Number 8, make great commitments for maximum results. Get better at keeping your promises, no matter if they are made to yourself or someone else. High achievers don't get that way by accident. They continuously work to make things happen. The key to being more productive is to be completely committed. Have a clear and personal reason why you want to produce results. That again, what's your why? And then understand the main actions that will get you the results and use them. So this, again, could be with our business, it could be with our health and fitness, it can be with our relationships, it could be with our regular 40-hour or so a week job, whatever. But you need to understand what the main actions are that will get you results and just be really good about using them. Also, count the costs and be willing to make the necessary sacrifices, such as maybe watching a little less TV. And I know that we probably don't watch as much TV as we want to sometimes, but we probably watch a little bit more than we're willing to admit. That's just one quick example. And also follow through, act on your commitments, and ignore your feelings at the moment. To me, that means the whole, I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like making my invites. I don't feel like, that thing. So it's like, who cares if you feel like it or not? You need to do it to get the results that you want to get. And when you're working with the concept of the 12-week year, you can't spend too much time playing the I don't feel like game. All right, number 9 is perform in the moment. Athletes don't become great in the heat of competition. They become great by making the decision to be disciplined, training hard, and making sacrifices. Similarly, we each have to choose to do the things that we need to do to make us great. This is referred to as getting into the zone and be in the present moment, focused on the tasks at hand we need to do to produce the results we want to reach. All right, number 10, seek intentional imbalances. The key to achieving high levels in productivity is to be purposeful about how and where we spend our time, energy, and effort. To move forward, we will have to create some intentional imbalances. When we start a new 12-week year, we will need to choose a few key areas to focus on and make significant improvements in those areas. Some of those areas would be income goals, personal relationships, your community life, your spiritual well-being, physical health. There's probably other ones that you can come up with there, so I just put it, etc. But each of these areas, it's either energizing us or it's draining us. It's never really somewhere in the middle. So just keep that in mind. If there's something that you're putting your focus on and it's draining you, then it's either time to figure out how to change it or eliminate it, or figure out what's going on there so you can flip it around to energizing you. All right, since each calendar year, this is kind of the little good news here, extra good news. Since each calendar year has 52 weeks, for each 12-week year, we will have a 13th week. So with that 13th week, you can use that week to plan ahead, take a vacation, to kick back and relax a little bit. You know, don't go too far off the wagon so it's hard to get back on. But if you work really hard for those 12 weeks, you really want to make sure that you take some time on that 13th week to relax and enjoy what you had accomplished and get ready for the next 12-week year. All right, 12-week year, this is how to structure and execute your 12-week year. It's based on 3 principles, 5 disciplines, and 1 cycle. All right, so we're going to go over these steps here, but accountability, commitment, greatness in the moment will lead you, those are your 3 principles, your 5 disciplines, and then your 1 cycle. So we're going to go into these a little bit more in detail. The 3 principles: accountability, which is owning the results regardless of your circumstances, asking ourselves, what more can I do right now to get the results I need to get? That's something that I know I've heard in many other areas, maybe phrased slightly differently, but that is something that is a really good bring yourself back if you find yourself straying. What can I do right now to get the results I need to get? Or is what I'm doing right now, how does Shalene say it? Is this, you know, is this the best use of my time right now? You know, there's different ways you can ask that, but basically the meaning is the same. Just keeping yourself accountable. Number 2 is commitment. We must make promises and follow through on those promises, especially the ones we make to ourselves. Commitment is the willingness to own our current and future actions and results. I think that's a pretty big thing to remember. You know, some of the things I read in this book are serious aha moments. This is one of them right here. All right, number 3, greatness in the moment. We need to make deliberate choices to do whatever is necessary to become a high performer. We need to commit to becoming great before we see the results, to choose the things that move us in the right direction and eliminate the things that don't. So here's the disciplines, the 5 disciplines. Number 1 is vision. When we have a compelling and engaging vision that is aligned with our personal goals, we can sustain the effort to make good things happen. Have a vision that makes us work hard to make it a reality. One that scares us a little bit. One of those things there's like, you know, makes you excited, but kind of makes you really nervous and like, what the heck was I thinking? Maybe the top, just right off the top of my head, one thing I could think of is when Dee and Dave decided they were going to do that competition at Summit last year. That was one of those things. They had the vision to work hard, kind of scared the crap out of them a little bit, but they did it, and they were successful at completing the process and showing up there. And as far as I'm concerned, they kicked some butt. So, but anyway, let's go on. Developing our vision is a thinking exercise. At first, it will seem impossible. Ask, what if? This gives us permission to consider new ideas. What if I fill in the blank? All right. So that gives you the, gives you the permission to dream also. So once that really becomes feasible, ask, how might I? This will lead to a workable plan. So then you start thinking, how can I make this happen? And then from there, you'll make the concrete plans by asking, how will I? How will I succeed in this? So those are the 3 things. 3-step exercise to create a 12-week year vision, otherwise known as reverse engineering. Number 1, think about what we would like to achieve in the next 5 to 10 years. And from there, what would we need to do in the next 3 years to get closer to that reality? And number 3, set targets for the 12-week year plan and daily actions to achieve those goals. So this is like taking the big thing and then breaking it down into bite-sized pieces. So, sometimes the big goals, regardless if it's an income one or a rank one or, whatever it is, just talking about our business specifically there, it can get really scary and overwhelming. If you are a brand new coach or an emerald and you're thinking, how in the heck would I ever be a 3-star or 3-time 15-star diamond? Know that that could be possible, but you need to break things down that will help you learn and grow and get you closer to that goal. And so by the time you reach that, you are ready to be that kind of leader and that kind of person. All right, next, here's some things that you want to do. Share the vision with others. Write down the vision and keep it with you at all times. Spend a few minutes each morning reflecting on your vision and your progress. Make sure the vision is meaningful. Again, there's that why. And make sure that the vision is big enough to be inspiring. All right, number 2, we need an effective plan, one that clarifies and focuses on the top priority items. Developing a written action-based plan increases the odds of success and good habits. Be sure the plan has goals and tactics that are specific and measurable, otherwise known as SMART goals. Descriptive of what success looks like, and state them in the positive. We've talked about these things in different ways in the past, but I'm so happy. If you're writing out as an affirmation, I'm so happy and grateful now that I fill in the blank. That's one way you can state it in the positive. Or I am taking the steps daily to fill in the blank, whatever your goal is. But you're going to want to make sure that you're really descriptive of what it is that you want to do. Just like we tell people when they're getting ready to start their health and fitness journey. It's like, just wanting to lose weight is not a good enough plan. You need to say, it's like, I want to lose X amount of pounds. I want to be at a certain body fat. I want to work out every day so I can feel, however. But just saying I want to lose weight is not a specific way to write down a goal. It's not descriptive, and it is a little bit positive, but it's not positive enough. Just using that as an example. All right, be sure the plan has goals and tactics that are realistic, but big enough to make us stretch and grow. If you're working with somebody else, assign different things. Assign to someone specific if you're having someone else help with your goals. And also has a deadline, another big one. Here's some questions to ask yourself. What actions do I struggle with? And what can I do to overcome these struggles? Those are, we all have different things that we struggle with. We all have certain areas that we kick major butt in. So, this is going to be part of your homework assignment, is to, write down what areas you're struggling with right now, not just in your business necessarily, but also health and fitness, and anything else that you want to focus on. Remember, we have three areas that we're going to focus on in the 12 weeks. And then start writing down some action steps to overcome these. I also would like for you to write down like 2 or 3 things that you feel like you're really doing well into. That's not on the slide though. So, all right. Most people won't write out their plan because they won't really use it anyway. I think that's, whether we know that personally for ourselves or the people that we've coached or whatnot, I think we all know that is true. Or people will say they don't have time to plan. The thing is, developing a good plan reduces the time it takes to get things done by at least 20%. So taking some time to do the 12-week year, taking some time at the beginning of each week to plan out your following week. It's actually taking the time to make your meals and meal prep, different things that we know that people say that they don't have time to do, but in reality, when they do it, they actually save time over the next, few days or week or month or whatever. So, all right, this is in here again. It's the same thing that this is what you're going to do to write things out. We're going to go over that a little bit more. Make sure the 12-week plan aligns with your long-term vision and that it connects with and is an extension of your vision. Keep it simple. Focus on 3 priorities for a 12-week cycle, then reevaluate and identify 3 new areas to focus on. Make tough choices in order for less to become more from a productivity perspective. So sometimes you just, that's again, making the sacrifices. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit in one area to be more successful in another area. And usually those areas are things that we can, get rid of or spend less time doing in order to be more successful in the areas we really want to be successful in. Make your plan meaningful. Build it around the goals that matter and not those which someone else thinks are important. So I think that speaks for itself. All right, number 3, process controls. This is all about putting the tools, systems, and support structure into place, ones that will help us decide on top priority objectives and actions. The two key process controls of the 12-week year are: have a written weekly plan, which translates your 12-week plan into daily action items, and get peer support for your desired changes, and holding a weekly accountability meeting. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. A written plan will organize and focus your week. Keep it simple, write down and schedule when you will do action items which align with your goals. Use your weekly plan to manage each day and ensure the right things are getting done. Again, we talked about time blocking a few weeks ago. This kind of goes along with that, making sure that you are making time, but you also have your buffer times in there and things like that. Don't try to go it alone. Studies show we have about a 10% success rate if we go it alone, but an 80% chance of success when we have peer support, just like in our challenge groups and whatnot, right? So here is what your each week for your 12-week year would look like. You'll score your previous week, plan your upcoming week. You're accountable to yourself and your group, and then you repeat. And as we go through each week, we'll keep score on how well our actions are matching our 12-week written plan. The score will be a powerful indicator of our future successes. Just like in a sports game. A sports game probably wouldn't be too much fun to watch if they didn't keep score, right? So that's it, and then you don't know how well you're accomplishing your goals if you don't keep score. Number 2, plan the week's activities in detail and on paper. And then again, meet with a group of your peers who are interested in your long-term success. That would be our whole team here, but I'm going to encourage us all to maybe have like a group of 3 or 4 people where we somehow stay connected, whether it's through a Zoom call or message thread or whatever. These will help us set a realistic chance of meeting our goals. Setting the 12-week targets, getting into a weekly routine to score the previous week, plan the upcoming week, and get a shot of enthusiasm from the small group of our peers. Remember to always plan the upcoming week's activities on paper. I would say write it down, and then if you want to put it in your Google Calendar or however you keep track, then go ahead and do that. But writing it down, there's something about when you write something down in your own handwriting that really burns it into your brain even more than if you just type it in on your phone or your computer onto your calendar or whatever. Don't assume every week will be the same, because it won't, because it's life. Do the best you can to stay on track. Refer back to your written daily plan and look carefully at your routine. So if you are not right now feeling like you're on target to reach the goals that you wanted to reach by the end of the year, now is the time before the beginning of January to really look at our routines and where we can tweak them and where we can improve upon them. Measurement, this is what really drives the 12-week year. It will show the lead and the lag indicators that show if we are moving forward in our productivity or not. Lead indicators are your actions. Lag indicators are your results. For each 12-week year, figure out the lead and lag indicators that are available. As I said, the lead indicators are the things that need to happen early and are the actions to take to get the desired results, and lag indicators are the results. Most of us are really good at keeping track of our lag indicators, our results, especially when we like the results, but we're not so good at the lead indicators, the daily actions, those 4 vital behaviors, if you will, that we need to do to get the results. So if we only focused on the lag indicators, it would be too late to make changes to influence the outcome if we realize we are not on target to reach those goals. So you need to figure out the lead and lag indicators needed for each of the goals and track how you are doing on each indicator week by week. This is the scorecard. This way, if something isn't working, there's still time to make changes and influence the outcome. This is another reason why doing things in the framework of a 12-week year instead of a 12-month year. This way, if you have a specific goal that you want to reach by the end of the year, at the end of the calendar year, then at the end of your 12-week year, if you feel like you're not on target or you aren't reaching those goals, you still have more time to fix that. So I do have some worksheets, some different tools to use to help keep track of our lead indicators and to basically go over a lot of the other stuff that we're going over here. So this works best when we review the score each week with a partner or group of peers. Something to keep in mind, a weekly score of at least 85% execution, not at least. A weekly score of 85% execution is actually really good. You're never going to be 100% perfect. Strive for excellence, not perfection. So keep evaluation sessions brief and uncomplicated, both the ones that you do with yourself and then, if you're working with an accountability group. And use what the numbers are showing to make changes. Again, if you, with those lead indicators, you know the action steps, but if you are taking those action steps diligently and doing them every day, and you've been doing it and you're not faltering and you're still not getting the results, then it's time, this is after getting close to the end of the 12-week year, then it's time to really kind of take a look and see what's going on and see where you can make improvements. Hold on. Oh, cool. Denise says she ordered the book on Audible. And I know that just an off note here, I have the Kindle version, and I know that the Audible was like $4 and something with the Kindle book, but, I don't know how much it is without that, but. All right, number 5, time use. When we aren't in control of our time, we aren't in control of our results. Another aha there. Think about that. How many times have we either slacked off or, and regardless of whether it's our business, our health and fitness, our relationships, taking care of our house, whatever. But if we're just kind of being lazy and not doing the things that we need to do, and then all of a sudden we're like, why am I 15 pounds heavier? Why hasn't my business grown? Or why haven't I, gotten anybody into my challenge group? If we aren't controlling the time and using that to work towards our goals, then, we aren't in control of the results ultimately. So we need to always be applying our time with clear intentions. This way, we are in control of our time and how we spend it. This is kind of fun here too. 28% of our time is wasted on interruptions. So mastering our time use and cutting down on interruptions will make our productivity soar. Again, I know that a lot of us are, maybe have kids or have another job or have animals or whatever that are, they interrupt us. So it's take a look at your week, take a look at your options, and try to find ways to cut back on those interruptions. I know for me, if I work at home all day, I have the dog that wants to go out about every 5 minutes. So sometimes I pack up and I go to Starbucks or whatever and work from there, and then I could be so much more productive when I do that. Some of you have kids or whatever, so you would, use this to work around maybe when they're at school, or maybe when they're sleeping, or, it's going to be different for everybody, but the options are there. We just have to be creative and figure out what they are. And it's also important to remember to work from our strengths instead of our weaknesses. I strongly believe this, but I also want to say there are some areas that it's just you need to figure out how to use your strengths to make something work. Some of these examples would be, we've heard from some of you guys how you just aren't comfortable getting on video. Well, in this day and age, it's time to just figure out how to get comfortable. And some of that is just starting to do it, be willing to feel like a dork sometimes, whatever, and just be yourself. And those things, it gets easier. That's just one little example. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And if something is really, truly a weakness, partner with somebody who that's their strength, find a virtual assistant or something that, you can find somebody to help you so you could actually focus more on your strengths and how to reach your goals that way. But anyway, all right, going on. All right, so here's some ideas to start thinking about planning and implementing here in the next few days. Every week, do a 15-minute session to score the previous week. Kind of gone over this a few times, but we're just going to go over it one more time. Plan the upcoming week and check in with your peers. Number 2, at least once a week, schedule a 3-hour time block to work on the business, not in it. I'm going to say examples of that would be writing blog posts, writing Facebook posts, making your images to put up on Facebook, making your list of people you want to invite to your upcoming challenge, going off your list and updating it of people you need to follow up with and who you're going to follow up with each day. Different things like that. It's part of the plan, and that's where you're working on your business instead of in it. In it is when you're actually doing those things and putting it out there and you're in front of the people. The strategic blocks of time and plan them when work activity is lightest. Okay, so that means, another thing would be planning your following week and such. So like for me, Sundays are usually a good day for me to plan some posts, get them scheduled. If I'm doing the call, I'll finish up anything that I need to do with that. Maybe figure out when I'm going to run errands for the week, making my calendar, things like that, when I'm not being overrun with having to go teach classes and having to do other things that I need to do throughout the day. Every week, schedule 1 to 2 buffer blocks for at least 30 to 60 minutes. Use this time for emails, phone calls, and other things and get through them as quickly as possible. That kind of looks a lot like our power hour, and it kind of is. So then schedule a 3-hour breakout block of time each week for something fun and creative. Whether this is taking the kids out to doing something really fun and cool, or maybe going and taking care of you, going to get a massage, or doing something good for you that's, you wouldn't do other times when you're working. It goes on what you like to do for fun. And then fill the rest of the calendar with other important activities that need to be done. Your job, your classes you teach, running the errands, things of that nature. All right. Once again, always work from a written plan and don't confuse activity with productivity. Just because you're scrolling through and liking your friends on Facebook pictures does not necessarily mean you're being productive. You might be being active, but that is not being productive. Just one example. All right, we're at the end here. So here are the actions to take in the next week. Purchase the 12-week year and begin reading it ASAP. I have this link here. I'm going to put all this stuff when I upload this video as well. Download the scorecards I will provide. I'm actually going to show you these things here as soon as I read through this. And download and print the workbook activities as well. And once you, this is the big one. Once you determine your 3 goals and your action steps, go live in the group and share those. I'm going to stop sharing this page here, and I'm going to pull up the other things. Anybody have any questions? I know that was kind of a lot and kind of fast, but any questions on that right at the moment?
I love this. I think this is a good idea. I'm wondering if we could actually just share our activity within the Diamond Force page.
I was thinking that we can give that a try, but I also don't want some people to feel like that they can like hide. You know what I mean? But you know, we can try it both ways. Again, that's what the 12-week year is about, is trying things and tweaking things and whatnot. So if people are willing to actually do it in the group and do it every week, so we can do it that way. Otherwise, you know, we could probably all just kind of bond and set up our own little small group and check in with each other that way too. So.
We'll vote on that, see how everybody feels. I just want to, I kind of think that this will be a good way to get other people maybe hyped and, you know, involved.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are they doing? You know?
Yeah. That's why I definitely want everybody, whether you like to be on video or not, right? You know, I want you to go live in the group by this, you know, by the time before the call next week. Let's put it that way. Before the call next week, I want you to have figured out what your 3 goals are and your action steps. And go live in the group and tell everybody. Got it? All right, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here that I'm going to share with you guys. We gotta make this smaller somehow. Yeah. There. Okay, now I got it. I think this is an example of the workbook. I actually have another, the scorecard. I actually have another one if you guys want to use that. So this breaks it down into the different weeks. This is, you know, enter overall weekly milestones, whatnot, read through that. And then down here, so you're going to do that for each day of the week and for each. So these are ones that I found when I was going through and looking for things like this. So if this makes sense to you, you can use this one. I have another one that I'm not showing you right now, but I can definitely upload that one to the group also. This would be like this guy, you know, he's apparently writing Kindle books. And here's like some of his health goals. So you can change those to your 3 things. This is set up for 2017. I made a mistake that says 2016. I need to fix that. But besides that, it's right for 2017. And then here's like, this would be an example of how you can write out your 3 things. All right. So at the top, you can put down what your first goal is, however you want to phrase it. Here's the second one. Here's goal 3. So, and then the action steps. So, all right, that would be like the scorecard, or no, this would be, actually, this is the thing for figuring out your goals. The scorecard is what I don't have pulled up here because it's on my other computer. That is something I will upload for you guys. Here is one workbook. Scrolling, not scrolling, but buffering, spinning. There you go. It's still going. It's almost there. How cool. This one, I'm just going to go through it real quick. Here's another way to execute things. Here's some things that you can answer to kind of get a better idea. Here is the quality of life. So this you would take, just taking the last 12 weeks. Since you weren't starting this yet, then, you may not be real happy with where you're at on these, but just go through and answer these based on the last 12 weeks. More questions to answer. Here is something to fill out for your success disciplines, breakthroughs. So here's a template to write out things, to do it in writing, because I do want you to do it in writing. And then if you want to put it on the Excel spreadsheet, you can do that. I have another one that is a little bit longer, this participant workbook. It is longer. It actually kind of, it's more of like a study guide in a lot of ways, where you would actually answer questions from the book. But down here, oh, going too fast and making me dizzy. Keep going. Desires and hopes and dreams. So these are some things that, here's like the long term, the 5 to 10 years, then the 3 years, and then building your 12-week plan. Reverse engineering, or starting with the end in mind. This is kind of similar to what I just showed you. Just another way to fill it out. There's like 19 pages of this. Time use, time blocking, strategic block activities, buffer block tasks, breakout block activities, things you want to do to reward yourself, to have fun. Just kind of a sample of making your calendar, scorekeeping. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. This is your weekly accountability meeting partners, if we go that route. Otherwise, right now, we can just start within the Diamond Force. Brainstorm some of your lead and lag indicators. I think this is about it here. So those are the 3 things I have pulled up here on the computer. And then, like I said, we have a scorecard that is on my other computer, but it's kind of being weird, and I didn't think it would record tonight, so I'm not using that one. So the scorecard is something that it's also in an Excel sheet, and you can break it down to your different goals and your daily activities and kind of keep track. So, and like I said, the other thing that we have is the business activity tracker. We still have that, so you can use that. That's more specifically for your Beachbody business, not for your health goals or relationship goals or home, whatever. It doesn't all have to be all Beachbody. Only really one of those should be straight up Beachbody, your business part. So, all right. Any other questions or comments? Or I know it was a lot. We are recording this, so you can go back through it again. Plus, getting the book. The book is actually not that long. I would say on my Kindle, it was saying it's probably about 5 or 6 hours reading time. So for the most part, that's not really that long of a book, and you've already got kind of a basic concept of it here too. So yeah, that's all I got. Anybody? Any other questions or comments or anything? Denise, is it you or Dave that's doing next week? Dave is, right?
Dave.
Okay. Do we know what he's covering next week?
No clue.
Okay.
He's out with his fellow office buddies having their holiday celebration today. They went to some game. I'm sure he told me, but
Okay.
if that's not me, I kind of like. He sounds like the Peanuts teacher. Yeah.
Well, have him then, like post, excuse my voice, when I upload this video, post underneath what we're going to do.
You got it.
Everybody knows. I lose my voice. All right. So do you guys like that concept, that 12-week year concept? Do you think that could be beneficial to you in your life overall, not just, I'm not talking just Beachbody. I'm talking, you can use it for your regular JOB also.
Or hopefully it'll help me get some laundry done in this house, because laundry is like a 8-day process in my house.
Yeah.
And Dave keeps telling me, there's a big fat frog you need to eat.
See, that's another one that we can do too. We need to talk about Eat That Frog, but we haven't done that one for a while. We'll do that the second 12-week year.
Yeah, we'll revisit that one. So I'm looking forward to this.
Good. Well, and I would just say a little thing, if you get easily distracted or you don't, like today, I was working on this. I literally drank like 2 pots of coffee. Literally. I think I still could go to bed tonight, but I also put on some jazz, and I was working on that, listening to jazz on my Amazon Music, and I was using I told you guys about the Pomodoro timer, so I was using that. So what I was doing was working for 45 minutes, and then for 15 minutes, I would go and work on laundry, or run around the house to get some steps in, or eat some food, or whatever. So I was like doing 45 minutes of work, 15 minutes of other stuff, and then back to work. So it really, at least for me, like I could get all over the place. Doing something like that really kind of helps keep me focused, not having the TV on and just listening to some good music and drinking lots of coffee. So that's just another little side note there. All right, I will get this uploaded. We will be back next week at the same time. There are 2 more calls this year. And then the following 2 Sundays are Christmas and New Year's. So no calls those days for obvious reasons. And then after that, we will start again on the 8th of January. So do the best you can to plug in between now and the end of the year.
I want to reiterate what you said at the beginning of the call, just that everybody understands. We're going to try something new with our What is Coaching live events, because they kind of fizzled down a little bit, and we can't get Nicole and Justine on and some other people who are, either working or just at a different time zone. So Sunday nights during our team call is the best time to do a What is Coaching webinar. And what we're going to do for the first quarter is kind of test it out. So the last team call of the month will be that What is Coaching webinar. So we're going to, instead of having our team call, create a What is Coaching event. We're going to hype it up from the second week of the month all the way leading to that day, and invite as many people as we can, personally invite them. That way they know what they're going to see when they join us. We're not taking them off guard. We're not kind of shoving anything down their throat. We're cordially inviting them, and they want to be a part of this. So I think it's going to work. We're going to test it out and see what happens. All right, guys?
And then we're going to add a prize for one of the guests too.
Yep, there's going to be a prize with everyone that we do. So we'll figure that out.
There was one more thing that we talked about. Now I can't remember. Besides the coaching call. I can't remember. I wrote stuff down. Well, anyway, I think there's one other thing that we were going to tell you guys, and now I can't remember what it is. So when we do, we'll post it in the group. So, all right. So now we are I think we've been recording for an hour now. So thanks for coming on. Get your book, read it. It's a great book. It's really inspiring. I think everybody will really enjoy it. And maybe by reading the book, this is almost a little bit more analytical, just everything that I put up. But maybe reading it will kind of put it all into a little bit more perspective. So it's pretty cool. You should be able to get it done well before the first of the year. And remember, your homework is to figure out your goals and your action steps that you're going to take for the first 12-week year of the year, and go live in the group sometime before next Sunday. Okay? All right. That's all, guys. Thanks for sticking with us tonight, and I will see you all soon. Bye.